Hello, and welcome to Intention Ascension. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is the dark night of the soul. And it is an extremely transformative time in our life. We have an opportunity to recognize the things that are no longer benefiting us. By the time we hit the dark night of the soul, it's typically because, and I'm going to gear this towards relationships, and then I'll apply it to career too. But it is typically because we have tried everything over and over and over again with this person. We have expressed every emotion from pure bliss and joy to angst and anger and anguish and misery. And we are not getting the result that we want from this person. And when we go through this dark night of the soul, it is a level of betrayal in which you have not yet experienced from in a relationship from someone that you are absolutely in love with. You feel sick without this person. You feel like you cannot imagine a future going without this person. You feel that there is no way to continue on because, well, technically the level of codependency is so high that you are only happy when they're happy, you're sad when they're sad. They are able to impact you in so many ways, ways like being able to predict this person and being able to read through the lines of their text messages and understanding that, you have these ingrained patterns with this person and the patterns aren't going the way that they normally do. So now something's wrong and you're turning it around onto yourself. And what did I do? And what could I have done differently? And why are we having this argument again? Why are you responding to me this way? Why aren't you paying attention to my emotional needs? And you continue to put yourself on the back burner, hoping that something will change. And the best advice that I can give you is to, when you hit that point and you recognize that you're hitting a wall and hitting a wall and you're finding yourself in more misery and pain than you are in happiness, that it is now time to stop doing what you are doing and assume that that person is never going to change. No matter what it is they tell you, they may go through temporary changes. They may be catering to your emotional needs. And that person has been capable previously of being the person that you want them to be or showing you the attention that you know and believe that you deserve. Because whatever it is that you're bringing to the table and whatever it is that you desire is completely out of balance with what this person is able and willing to give to you. And at that point, you are better off saying, I have to leave. I cannot do this with you anymore. And that is where the change begins. You have tried everything. You've gone through everything. You've put in time. And one of the things that I hear all the time from my clients is, well, if I leave them and then they make the changes, then somebody else is going to reap all the benefits of what I have done, the work I have put in. Okay. And so what? So what if that happens? This person wasn't giving that to you. And maybe you were the teacher. You were the one who was able to come in and show them, but they weren't willing to make the changes for you. And they have not shown you. And maybe you've left and you've come back and you, like I said, had those temporary changes. You don't deserve to continue to resubmit yourself into the same exact situations over and over and over, hoping for a different result. Just because you've put in time, just because you've expressed your emotions, you are not being respected. So How do we go from being so intertwined to feeling physically ill and sick when this person isn't responding to us the way that we want them to? It's about stepping into our power. It's about saying, I deserve more. I deserve better. I know, maybe know that this person can be different, but they're not. And so now they are constantly taking from you and taking from you. And these patterns in your relationship that have been ingrained, you've had the same outcomes. You've allowed things to just go by in the relationship. You have excused their behavior because you understand why they are the way they are. Okay, so when do you say, I understand, but I will not accept this? When you go back and figure out why you've been accepting it. Why is this behavior okay? Because they are now your teacher. So you can recognize why you've accepted these patterns, why you've accepted this behavior, and what your attachments are. There's a lot of attachments on this planet. And so many people are attached to different things for different reasons. And when you can figure out what your attachments are, you will also be able to use your discernment to understand when you have been sent a person that was only there to stop you in your path, to distract you, to deter you from where it is you're supposed to be going. I read something the other day that said the ability to be alone is the ability to love all. And I recognize that very much so, because when you are in a relationship with somebody who doesn't allow you any freedom, who your whole world is revolving around, whose attention you're always trying to get, whose needs you're always trying to meet, how much do you have to give yourself to other people? People move people. And when you are hyper focused on one person who is an energy vampire, and I love when I am able to recognize that I have resubmitted myself into a relationship with an energy vampire, because boom, now I get to learn what attracted me to this person, because I believe that we are sent people to stop us on our mission based off of our shadow selves. For example, there's one personality type that I found myself consistently drawn to. And it was such an illusion because there was nothing bad about it. It wasn't like it was, um, well, with no judgment, but it wasn't like I was submitting myself to someone who didn't have it figured out, who didn't know where they were going, who didn't have a good mouthpiece on them. And I think that was one of the key indicators, is that I was looking for at what people were saying and not paying attention to their actions. And so I consistently put myself back into this revolving door of friendships, um, closeness with coworkers, people I clung to, on the job, and then my romantic relationships also. Okay, what is it about this personality type that I like so much? Oh, well, they say what I want them to say, or they are tapped into a version of me that I have yet to tap into, and that is in our shadow self. And one of those things with that mouthpiece was their air of confidence. So it didn't really matter what their actions were, as much as it mattered what words were coming out of their mouth. And so when I came upon that realization, that was a huge mind blowing moment, mind opener, whatever you want to call it, for me, because I recognized that I was finding safety and security in the words of others without evaluating their true characteristics. So as long as I was hearing what made me feel safe, and that's the key word, I felt safe because of the way that they were presenting themselves. So now I have to look at myself. Well, why am I not providing myself that sense of security? Why am I searching outwards for other people to have answers to problems I don't know how to solve? Because it makes me feel comfortable. Because I was raised in an environment where anytime I needed something, it was done for me. Because my parents always stepped in and took control and said, well, this is how it's going to be. Because I wasn't allowed to be myself, I wasn't allowed to explore the world in the ways that would help me define who I am. It boiled down for me to safety and security. I felt safe. And now I need to figure out how I'm going to do that on my own. When we go through these dark nights of the soul, they change us forever. We start to recognize red flags. We develop self-esteem, but it hurts. It hurts like HE double hockey sticks. It hurts. You feel sick. Everything that you thought, it turns out you didn't know. Everything that you believed was actually an illusion. And that is a very hard pill to swallow. You start to create your entire life around what this other person and you are capable of doing together, what you guys are capable of being when you're together. And when that illusion gets brought to the surface and you recognize that this person is not bringing you happiness that they once did, because trust me, we don't fall into these dark nights of the soul because we got attracted to somebody who is treating us or making us feel the way that we feel now in this moment, in this time where this relationship has gone. Oh no, there was a whole hook, line, and sinker process to this. And you have to well, you don't have to, but come to the conclusion, or I suggest that you recognize what it is about this relationship, about this person, about these circumstances that made you feel safe and secure, loved, happy. Were they pumping you up every day? Were they getting up and making your coffee? Let's say you like to do the dishes, but you hate doing laundry. And so they do the laundry. You like to clean, but they like to cook and you don't like to cook. And they're filling all of these voids in for you, the things that almost made them the yin to your yang, right? All the things that made it worth investing all of this time. But then you find yourself questioning, how did I get here? What happened? Why have they changed so much? What happened? Our honeymoon phase lasted for 2 or 3 years. It was great, but now things are different. You're evolving, you're shifting, you're changing. It's time to learn the lesson and it's time to move on. When I talk about attachments, that's actually a very interesting topic because of the things that we become attached to and the reasons why we're attached to them and how we can detach. So when we detach from the outcome, we detach from people, we detach from places and things, it is a skill set. It hurts. It's not our normal and natural reaction, but it should often be the end goal. Like that saying, when you love something, let it free. And if it comes back, it was meant for you. That is the absolute truth. We hold nothing. We own nothing. We leave this world with nothing. And so when we are presented with these people that ultimately make us feel the deepest levels of betrayal, it is time for us to look at what we've done, how we got to where we were, what this person was providing for us, and then we build our self-esteem because we don't deserve to be in those positions where we are lacking growth. And trust me, if this is with your friends and you are elevating and you are evolving and you are finding yourself in conversations that you don't want to be a part of, detach, let it go, let them go. I guarantee you there is some other pity party community out there. They're going to move on. They're not going to die without you. And if you just so happen to sail, then you can sail on that ship alone because you don't need any Debbie Downer that is trying to energy vampire your entire life. As you start to excel or you start to change or you start to do something different and they want all your time and your attention, and it's not fair, you're doing this to me, you're doing that to me, you're making me feel this way, and then you're constantly catering to their emotions, what else is going on in your life? Like, you have a full-time job most likely, so that way you can put food on the table and pay your bills and have a cell phone, because we all have that addiction. And then you've got this person who is constantly needing your time and your attention, maybe even while you're at work, because now they're like, oh, well, you started a new job and I don't know, I don't trust so and so. And I went and I saw this, or they're showing up and they're bringing you lunch and they're not telling you. And all these jealous behaviors come in, and nobody needs any of that. You do not need another full-time job. And that is why it's so painful, because you made this person a full-time job and you catered to their emotions. So that way you could do things like have a peaceful night or have a good date, or you got this vacation planned and you just want to have a good time. You have expectations and you make plans around what it is that you think you and this person are capable of doing. And all along, you can do it on your own. You can do it on your own. You can heal yourself, because the person that is meant for you, the situation that is meant for you, is not going to distract you from the rest of your life, is not going to pull you away from your friends, is not going to make you feel like the things that you were doing previously can no longer be done because it doesn't fit into your schedule, or because this person doesn't like it. They're not willing to try new things, or for whatever reason, maybe when you met this person, your financial status wasn't where it is now, and you could only do things like Netflix and chill. And now you're able to afford to be able to do all these other things and exploring or tapping into other areas of yourself. And this person doesn't want any of that. They don't want to see you happy. They don't want to see you evolve. And it may not, they are most likely not even aware that they're doing these things. Your changes scare them because they are unwilling to support you during that time. And it usually has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. But if you don't go down and you don't destroy everything that you thought you knew to be true, which then leads into feelings of betrayal, probably abandonment, and really highlights areas of codependency, then you can't make the changes that are necessary. And if you don't power through the dark night of the soul and you go back to the same situation, the same person or people, maybe your family members, and you continue to resubmit yourself hoping that something will change, you will continue to repeat the same pattern over and over and over. There's a very small chance, I don't have a percentage for it, but we've all heard a story or two in our time where it's like, well, he used to be physically abusive and then he changed and now he is the greatest person ever. Or she used to fly off the handle and she used to come home and just scream about everything, but now she's found her inner peace and we're happy. But that is a shot in the dark, because separating yourself from the situation or from the person allows the changes that are not already embedded. And that is why if someone says to me, but I put in all this hard work and I did all this and I invested all this time. So what? So what? You deserve more. You deserve better. And the only way that you are going to be able to step into that level of power for yourself is to learn the lesson, feel the emotions, and change forever. That's all I have for you today. I love you.